Kelsey.
Giovanini.
Here.
Barr.
Here.
Gill.
Here.
S. Horner.
Here.
Causer.
Here.
A. Horner.
Here.
Bradshaw.
Here.
Howard.
Here.
Willie.
Here.
Thank you. We have 3 items on our consent agenda. If anyone has any questions, if not, I'll make a
I would like to make a correction on the minutes for the vote correction on the Futures Connection because I abstained due to conflict of interest.
Okay.
Get that changed. Thank you.
Other than that, I'd like to approve.
Okay. Motion by Howard,
Second.
second by John Willie. Roll call, please.
Barr.
Yes.
Gill.
Yes.
S. Horner.
Yes.
Causer.
Yes.
A. Horner.
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes.
Howard.
Yes.
Willie.
Yes.
Giovanini.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, item A on our agenda is a presentation by the PTHS Environmental Science class about the Route 66 bike path project this class has undertaken and is excited to be here tonight to share some of what they've been working on with us. So I'll pass it over to Mr. Ritter and the gentlemen who are here to represent the class.
So first, I want to thank you guys for having us here. It's great to see all of you here in good health. My name's Cole Donzi, and then I'll let them introduce themselves.
I'm Corbin Cotter. I'm a junior at PTHS.
I'm Joshua Harkey. I'm also a junior at PTHS.
So today we have 3 things specifically that we want to share with you. First, we're going to show you why we see a need for this path in our community. We're going to tell you how we plan on achieving this goal. And then we're going to show you some of the data we've collected from the community, showing that they also see and want for this in our community. So the overview of the project is taking the abandoned half of Route 66 and obviously turning it into this multi-use path. This will help us expand recreation, support conservation, and strengthen the community connections through both social and environmental interactions. Some of the key needs for this is the lack of safe, dedicated paths in our community, the limited access to natural habitats, and it will also increase opportunities to enhance ecological and economic values.
Now, I want to say some supporting evidence that we have. So the existing Route 66 path, that the segments, as in the segment that we have to the north in Odell, and then the segment to the south that we have in Chenoa. And so I don't know what you guys have heard from the public, but what I've heard personally is that there's a lot of interest in us connecting a route from Chenoa to Pontiac for everyone to use. And then as well as we have community surveys that indicate strong support for this multi-use path. And that will be showed later in the slides. As well as the new path would honor Route 66 historic legacy, as in Pontiac is one of the #1 top tourist places for Route 66, as well as next year, 2026, is Route 66 100th year anniversary, or the centennial. And then the core action would secure, we would do is secure county approval for the Route 66 corridor. And then we want to coordinate efforts among the county, Pontiac, and Chenoa, just to make sure that they're all together in on this and not butting heads and not going separate ways in on this project. And then we want to follow the Farnsworth Group Development Plan, which was a plan initially made in 2014 that was to do what we're doing now, but we're taking that plan and we're building upon it to make this just a feasible thing that we can achieve among our community. And then our implementation strategy, we want to phase the project into manageable stages, such as taking it 1 mile at a time instead of just doing it all at once. That way it's more of action that we can do. And then we want to engage community volunteers for cleanup and habitat work, which actually in the survey we included that. And we asked the community if they would be willing to put some of their time into this path and to help clean up. And then they also, most of them actually said that they would be willing to. And we want to do that, that way they know, the community knows what's going on, and so that they're all not confused and asking questions as well. And then we want to pursue grants and private donations, and support, and we want to support the development with the state, city, and county funding specifically. So we want to get grants from the state obviously, and then we want to get county funding just to chip in here and there. And then the city, we want y'all to go ahead and put signs around, and then we need help with signing as well. And we just need you to put the word out there, so that way we can get more private donations from bigger businesses in town. And we would honor those businesses who donate us with a sign along the path stating how much, like, this segment is donated to this company as well, so that people will come in and then they'll be willing to go and visit those companies as well who have donated their money to this path. And then environmental benefits, we want to use native prairie plantings to reduce long-term maintenance as well as enhance the natural habitat. So along the path in the ditches, we would put natural prairie grass. That way it would reduce the maintenance cost of mowing, and it would just enhance the natural habitat, showing that we care about the natural state of our land, and that showing that we can have more natural spaces for people to go out and just be in nature. And then we want to contribute to the 30-30 conservation and biodiversity goals, which it's another project that people in our class are working on. They want to conserve 30% of land and water in Illinois by 2030. And actually there's a summit coming up that we would like to invite you guys to, and want to email you guys about it, information regarding it. And now I want to bring this over to my partner, Josh.
So some other information here, this is more about the economics of the bike path. So in Illinois, for every $1 that goes into tourism, there's $9 in total economic output. And that's great for the city of Pontiac because tourism dollars fund our economy. Route 66 is a $132 million tourism industry annually. And some other numbers is McLean County estimates the cost of their bike path around Route 66 at $14.3 million total. But that was for 37.2 miles, and we want to do a little over 9 miles. Some other actions we're going to be taking is we're going to be presenting to community advisory groups and the Illinois Audubon Society. And we're currently in committee right now at the county level. So some potential roadblocks that we're going to face is going to be funding, which we're going to be pursuing grants with the state. And we already got $2 million secured in ITEP funding to take care of the bridges, which have been the second main concern with the county and have kind of been the holdup. So we did get $2 million set aside that are going to go into phase 1 and phase 2 of dealing with the bridges. And the problem right now with the bridges is that the lanes are only 10 feet wide each, and they need to be 12 feet. So they need to tear down the bridge that's being used currently anyways. And so we can either tear down the old bridge on the other side and put up a pedestrian bridge, or we can just add a walkway on the side of it for minimal cost. Some other big problems that the county had has been maintenance. And so we can limit maintenance costs with mowing by putting in natural prairie habitat around that needs to be mowed less frequently. But long-term maintenance is going to come into play, and we're going to have to work out the kinks on who's going to be paying for that, but it's mostly going to be county funding. And then the other big problem the county has signage. So we're here to ask you guys today for the city to help fund signage out there, to not only for the bike path, but also stop signs, pedestrian, crosswalks, and all the signage that goes along with it. So we did send out a survey to PTHS and out to the community in Pontiac, and here are the results. So the first question we ask is, do you see a need for the multi-use bike path? And 57% of people said yes, and 30% of people said maybe. How often would you use it? 31% of people said they would use it 6 to 10 times a year. 31% of people said they would use it one to 5 times a year. And 16% of people said they would use it 1 to 3 times a year. Then we ask about donating time and money to help. And so around 80% of people said that they would or they might donate time to help establish a path through volunteer work. And then another 60% of people said that they would or they might donate money to help establish a path. And then some other questions we ask are opinion on natural habitat. And the overwhelming majority of people were for it, or at least partially for it. And then we also ask about e-bike rental stations that we could put out there, or maybe around the community. And 60% of people said that they would be interested in it, and 25% of people said they might be interested in it. And then we asked how many people would actually use it, and around 60% of people said they might or they would use it. So we told you why we think there's a lack of safe spaces around here. Our principal, Mr. Baum at the high school, got hit riding his bicycle last year on Route 66. We told you how we're gonna do it. We're gonna cut it into 1 mile chunks to spread out the cost. We're gonna be pursuing grants. We're gonna be seeking funding from here. We're gonna coordinate mowing with Shinoa, the city of Pontiac, and the county. And then we backed it up with data that we gathered from the community. So thank you guys for listening to us today.
Great job, fellas.
Thank you.
This dream of many of ours may actually come to fruition because of this group of kids who's going to make things happen, I hope. So I'm really excited about what you've done so far, and a lot more to come. Right, Mr. Ritter?
Yeah.
Great job.
I can tell you at the county level, being that I think I'm close to one of the longest-serving board members now, which I never ever thought I would say. Other than Jack Getty, and everybody knows that Jack, nobody will ever surpass that. I will say that back when this first came to the county, it was a lot of energy around it, and everybody was very much, let's make this happen. And then some major things got in the way, specifically 15 things. And these boys, using the help with several of the board members here, Mr. Lipinski and several other people, basically around the United States, they were able to really understand how to combat that. And the number one thing, which is no secret to anybody here, were the bridges. And at the meeting the other night, my jaw literally came and hit the floor when, after they had got done presenting, the engineer, after they said, well, we have to figure out some way to eliminate this bridge and put it as a pedestrian bridge, the engineer said, I think we can make that happen if you guys are willing to do some writing and do some things. And they said, yeah. And that's when the tide turned. And literally, I've never been in a room where the other county board members all looked at me and said they weren't certain if they heard what they heard. And what it was our engineer said that they would be more than for that happening if we can deal with the bridge. And you know, the other 15 things as we laid out to them that night seemed a lot more palatable and a lot more doable. And once the bridge came off the table, then it became, what does our 25 years down the road look like for maintenance? And so it shifted. It shifted from what's here in front of us, this will never happen. And to be honest with you, so many people came before Mr. Lipinski and a bunch of people did a lot of hard work over the years with the ad hoc committee that researched this and put all the information together with Farnsworth and all these people. And being an ex-old football coach, I liken this to, you know, we're past the 50-yard line, and we've got the ball, and it's 1st and 10, and we're moving forward. And the greatest feeling in the world was being able to watch them do that. This is a gift. I said this to Anna earlier. What you have to understand is I have been given the greatest gift in the world to watch these kids do these things. And to be able to say, once they understand, and I don't know that they fully understand it quite yet, but they will fully understand as this comes to fruition the legacy that they're developing for their county and for the people and the citizens, and what that longevity means like for long-term economics when it comes to people coming to our community and spending money. They need your help. I'm not going to lie about it. They need your help with a number of things. They need to get people to support and get them to the CAC meetings. They need the people to rally around them and help them carry that banner and that torch, and just letting everybody come together to make that happen. It's not easy, it's not gonna be easy, but it's as good as it's ever been. And I can assure you that the work that they are putting in is one that is completely just and righteous with what they're doing, and they are working as hard as I've ever seen. And my class, Dan will probably tell you this too, my class is a class where I turn the reins over to them right off the bat. Their class, you need to make these things happen. I'm just simply the person that's the chief cheerleader that gets to happen. I get to sit back and watch this, and if they need something, I help them find it. And they need you. They need you to help push them forward. They need help carrying the ball. But more importantly, we gotta get to that point where everything continues to go. They got $2 million in one night. One night, I was floored. And then they said, well, okay, in order to finish this, you have to convince the state that you want them to do this when they're going to do Route 66. So our next delivery is gonna be at the state of Illinois with IDOT. But I have it on good authority that they're very anxious to talk to these boys. I have it on good authority that they want to see this happen. So, it's our understanding from the engineers that we spoke to, that this same thing took place as far as with the bridges over on I-57 over in Champaign, going over the interstate, where the university goes across the interstate. So they know that the money can be used for this, because they have a precedence already. So now it's them just having to make their presentations and being tenacious and not taking no for an answer. So that's what we're gonna do. And so I know that we've taken more of time than we should have, but I dearly appreciate all of you. This is a dream come true to watch happen, and I vow to do whatever it takes to make them successful. So I appreciate all of you.
Well,
They're in high school.
I had the opportunity to go and talk to their class as they were starting this push, and I left them with the message that if anybody can make this happen, you have to convince them, because you're the future of Livingston County. And so do your magic, which they did. And at 6:15, the day after the meeting, Paul texted me in the morning with this long text about, and my response was just, wow, in big capital letters, because I couldn't believe it. So great job, fellas, and the rest of your class. Okay, and now for some more really good subject matter. Jim will talk to us about the ordinance 2025-0026, the 2025 property tax levy.
Yeah, so, last meeting, I gave you a draft of the property tax levy. This is the same version of that. There have been no changes to it. The property tax levy, since Livingston County is a P-TEL county, we're limited in raising the property tax. The smaller of the consumer price index as used for P-TEL, which is a property tax extension limitation law, or 5%. And this year, the CPI was 2.9%, and this property tax levy shows that 2.9% increase. In addition to that, the library notified the city that 2.9% was what they were asking as well, because we do levy the property tax for the library, even though they are their own funding body. So if you were looking through this property tax levy, the very beginning is, this is the budget that you passed back in April or late March. And then, in essence, it says the property tax goes to fund above and beyond the revenues that were budgeted in the regular budget. Sorry. So if you've gone through here, the biggest funds in the property tax we're required by law to fund the police, fire, pensions, and IMRF. And then the next biggest ones are our liability insurance, FICA, and Social Security. That's where the bulk of the property tax money goes to. So after that, there really isn't a whole lot of money left. While there's a number of things as you go through that list, there's a number of things that a city can levy property tax for. We don't levy a lot of money in there. Most of it sticks to the general corporate tax, which is what we are allowed to use for general expenses. And that's $136,000 out of a budget of $29 million. So, do you have any questions about it? We're required to pass the property tax levy, and I will have to have it filed by the end of the month. If you approve and pass this budget, it'll be filed.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Jamie Bradshaw, second by Jerry Causer. Roll call, please.
Gill,
Yes.
S. Horner. Yes. Causer,
Yes.
A. Horner,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Jovanini,
Yes.
Barr.
Yes.
Thank you. Item C, approval of the 2026 City Council meeting schedule. I don't believe there's really anything unusual on
No,
this.
first and third Mondays, the asterisks indicate Monday was a holiday, so that day is a Tuesday.
Mark it as a pizza day.
That's a pizza day, yeah. So I take a motion motion by John Willie, second by Jerry Causer. Roll call, please.
S. Horner. Yes. Causer.
Yes.
A. Horner,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Jovanini,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Gill.
Yes.
Thank you. Item D, approval of the RFP pad construction at the ambulance substation site.
Good evening. At the last council meeting, we requested to put an RFP out for the installation of a foundation and pad for a fiber optic hut for Serban, as well as a generator pad that will service the future fire station. We received 2 proposals, the first one from H.J. Eppel and the second from Opperman Construction. And in the RFP, we asked them how they would access the site because it is in the far east side of the lot. So we just put out there, how would you get to it? Being with winter construction, can get a little sloppy and messy out there. So Opperman proposed just to use tracked vehicles, which would be fine, to get back to the lot and to build the 2 structures at a cost of $29,949. Opperman proposed to furnish and install the materials for the 2 structures at $47,527, and then they proposed to build an actual access road back to the site at an additional cost of $20,821 for a total of $68,348. So as we discussed it, we decided that the Apple option would be better, just for the sheer savings. The structures would be built either way. And as far as start time, it's just weather dependent. Both contractors felt they would be able to get in as soon as the weather was sufficient enough to work, which could still be at this winter. If we get a warm spell, they could still get in there. We had an early winter. So we would recommend awarding it to H.J. Apple for $29,949.
Do we have any idea how long it's going to take?
It'd be pretty quick once they can start. Both were 7 to 10 days if the weather was cooperative with it. So,
Farnsworth's already done the specs for the pads, And then on top of that, I talked with Serban late last week, and their plan, they've been to the site as well, and they think they can get access to a low boy to get the hut in there, position a crane or whatever to reach down and grab the hut and set it. So everything's really gonna be dependent on the ground.
Right.
So would Serban have to do some maintenance every now and then?
So, yeah, I'm sure they'll be in and out of that thing.
So they may put their own gravel in there or something for access?
Well, when the site's done, there'll be concrete access,
Yeah.
because it's just gonna be on the backside of the fire station.
Okay.
So, yeah, I guess if you think this pad, where the pad is gonna be, it's gonna be sitting out in the middle of the dirt, but eventually it's gonna be all filled in around
Right.
it. So our generator will be back there in the same spot.
Oh, could we get Serban to put an access road in with gravel right now to make things easier for everybody?
So we didn't really necessarily think it was necessary to have an access road in there. Yeah. And part of the other issue is that Serban has some grant funding. They didn't have $68,000 of grant funding that could be put toward this project. But they'll be able to use some grant funding to help cover the cost of this. They're part of the concrete pad, and the other part of the concrete for our generator we were gonna build anyway.
That's why we're having to do now instead of waiting until the construction of the building, because they're on a
Yeah.
tighter time frame than we are.
They talked maybe somewhere, worst case, maybe around March of it being in, and that was gonna be okay for Serban's time. They need to get their hut up and going. It's a pretty main connection point for the project that they're boring out west.
Will we be getting reimbursed for them for part of the concrete?
From Serban?
Yes.
I'd make the motion.
And,
We'll be
okay,
getting reimbursed, and we'll also have no-cost internet.
motion by Jerry Causer. Second by Jamie Bradshaw. To accept the bid of Epple Construction, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Motion, or roll call, please.
We are at Causer.
Yes.
A. Horner,
Yes.
Bradshaw, Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Jovanini,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Gill,
Yes.
S. Horner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item E, ordinance 2025-0028, TIF 1 and 2 roof rehab program.
Sure. This is the ordinance to authorize, as committees have discussed, a residential roof rehab program separate from any housing development authority programs. This would be funded by TIF 1 and TIF 2 funds. So therefore, basically, the ordinance says you'll be passing the terms and conditions as listed in Exhibit A, and then Exhibit A is attached behind that. And the conditions are the same as what has been discussed before. Residence would be a single-family owner-occupied residence within the boundaries of TIF 1 or TIF 2. Has to be the primary street-facing dwelling on the unit. The equalized assessed valuation, or the EAV, assigned by Livingston County has to be under 100,000. And just so you know, I did a audit of TIF 1 and TIF 2, and you're gonna find 99% of the properties are gonna be under $100,000. TIF 2 has some residential unit out Franklin Way and Lawrence, that subdivision there, Countryside Lane, and even those are under 100,000. So then they'll then, as part of the program, provide proof of ownership as required, which may include but not limited to the deed and title. All listed owners on the property have to sign the grant agreement, and then they have to agree to a lien in the amount of the grant to be levied against the property that will automatically drop off after the 5th year and after the grant is completed. Next, you see the grant tier awards. Maximum is $10,000 for any grant, but based on the EAV of the property, it could either be 90%, 75%, or 50%. And any EAV of 100,000 or more is not eligible. It'll be a first come, first serve. We'll have an application, which I did include, I think, on the very last page. And 2 bids from licensed contractors are required unless it's a single bid from a licensed contractor who has a business address listed within the corporate limits of Pontiac. The owners have to appear before the city council for final grant approval, and that work must be completed by a licensed contractor that submitted a bid. Wanted to make sure that they don't get a grant and then do the work themselves, and the contractor must be registered with the city. All of the permits, they'll have to require all of the permits and all of the codes of the city. They have to comply with Pontiac codes, and we've adopted the international property codes, so those would apply as well. No zoning violations or any unpaid real estate taxes or outstanding debt owed to the city. The applicant agrees to a property inspection by building and zoning. The roof replacement must occur within 6 months of the grant approval date. And the property must remain a single-family owner-occupied resident. And then that owner has to retain ownership for at least 5 years or repay the grant according to a schedule that's listed there. If owned less than 2 years, they owe 100% back. Between 2 and 3 years, 75%. Between 3 and 4 years, 50%. And between 4 and 5 years, 25%. And it's a reimbursement grant, so upon them showing us proof of completed project and giving us paid invoices, then we'll release payment at that point.
Do these have to be owner occupied?
Yes.
So I can't take a rental property that I own?
Not yet.
We had that conversation though, and decided to stay with the owner. We've had several. I mean, this has been kind of something we've been discussing in the housing committee, and then again,
What we
Moving
had talked about with that problem is, the concern was we wanted to get a grant program up and going, and we didn't want to be bogged down by worrying about a landlord now raising the rent on his tenants because they got a grant to have the tenant pay for the expenses that he did on a roof.
Still, no, it's an excellent offering, opportunity,
Yeah.
and I'll be excited to see the first one.
any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion. Motion by Sarah, second by Jerry. Roll call, please.
A. Horner,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Jovanini,
No.
Barr,
Yes.
Gill,
Yes.
S. Horner, Causer.
Yes.
Thank you. I believe the intent is to get this out
First of the
January
year.
1st, so we'll have to market it well. Item F, approval of the single source purchase for fire radios AFG grant. Chief Campbell.
Good evening, Council. Tonight I come before you to make an exciting announcement. Those of you who have not heard, on September 23rd, 2025, I was contacted by FEMA to let us know that the AFG grant that we applied for in 2024, that we're going to be awarded it. And what we applied for was for portable radios. So in the past couple of months since we received that announcement, we've been working through the process to determine what the best process was for procurement. After careful research, we determined that the best process would be sole sourcing, which is allotted in our federal procurement policy that we adopted on September 8th, 2020. That was a policy that I introduced the first time we got the AFG grant for air packs. So it does allow sole sourcing. In your packets, I provided a very detailed explanation and justification of why sole sourcing for Motorola radios was the best fit for our organization. There were 7 bullet points. I can go into those in great detail, or I can give you a quick summary. It was about a 3-page justification document. And that document was necessary because if council does give me approval to move forward with this, FEMA does require several pieces of documentation to back our procurement process. So that document would be moved forward to the federal government once I made those purchases. Like I said, we are granted that opportunity through the federal procurement policy. But just some highlights real quick of why Motorola Solutions would be the best option for us. Number one, the system ownership. Our county fire departments and EMS agencies are switching over to Starcom. Currently, we operate off of the UHF system. It's something that's been in the process for a very long time, and we're finally going to have movement on that in 2026. The rest of the county is going to go to Motorola as well. I was able to secure them a grant through the county, ARPA grant, to buy used radios from DuPage County. So all the fire and EMS agencies, and if we're allotted this tonight, will be operating off of Motorola, which creates interoperability capabilities. In addition to that, there are several features because of the Starcom system and the ownership by Motorola that allows us to have, not to get too technical here, but it allows us to upgrade without having to pay extra money. And how they do that magically, I don't know, but it has to do with when they have updates, it automatically updates all of our radios. If we were to use a different radio manufacturer, they can operate off of Starcom, but the problem is when those updates occurred, they will not happen right away. So if we had an emergency and that update affected our operations, that could severely cause issues during an emergency situation. So like I said, I've highlighted 7 bullet points of why it's important we go with Motorola and sole source. So tonight I'm here to entertain any questions about those justifications and look for your approval to move forward with the procurement process.
So,
Sole source purchase would require 2/3 of the council, which would be 7.
Yeah, and just the highlight, I'm sorry, I didn't say what we were awarded financially, but the total grant award was $311,500. The city is responsible for 5% of that, which was $14,833.34. When I applied for the grant, I received approval from council to move forward with that, and I was also approved that in my budget. So I currently do have that money in my budget allotted specifically for this project. So do I have any other questions? If not, I would seek approval.
I'm sorry, is that the total cost of the project, or is there?
Yeah, that's $311,500 is the total cost. So 5% is our matching cost, and the $296,666.66 is coming from the federal government.
Good job.
Do I have a motion?
I so move.
John Willie, second by Chan Gill. Roll call, please.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Giovanini,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Gill,
Yes.
S. Horner, Causer,
Yes.
A. Horner.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good work. Item G, approval of the police taser purchase with taser grant funding. Chief Davis.
Good evening, council. I'm also here to talk about a grant. It's not as lucrative of the last one, but we applied for a taser grant last year from through ILEAS, the law enforcement alarm system. We were not awarded last year. However, I just found out about a month ago that we were awarded it this year. That grant covers the cost for 6 of the latest model of taser devices, in addition to the cartridges and all the training needs for the next 5 years. The dollar amount that shook out to was $21,600. It's a reimbursement grant, and the process requires you to go through your Axon or your taser dealer. In doing that, we also sought, basically as a planning tactic, the cost for outfitting the entire department. In receiving the quote for that, obviously you buy bigger bulk, you get a little bit better cost and some discounts on things. But in doing that, basically purchasing 20 of the devices that come with some training equipment, as well as every cartridge that's required to be certified each year for the next 5 years. That quote came in for a total of $98,000. The flip side of that, I suppose, is of this $98,000, the $21,000 would be due upon our initial entry into this agreement and covered by the grant. And then our sales rep understands our fiscal year, and he broke it down into annual costs over the 5-year lifespan of these new devices, at a cost of $15,296.58 per year for the next 5 years. These dollar amounts represent, even at today prices, a $35,000 cost savings over just me piecemealing, you know, buying a third of the department or half the department here in the next few months, in the next year and a half. So, you guys are well aware of the savings in both injuries and lawsuits and work comp claims since we've started our TASER program about 10 years ago or so. I'm a huge proponent of the program, but I would entertain any questions, as I realize this is a significant purchase.
Doesn't seem,
Any questions, anybody?
seems like we should do that, I'm sorry.
5 years, give or take. Warranty is 5 years for sure. The current models that we do have, they are not only discontinued, but now considered obsolete to where if they did break down, they won't even fix them. Surprisingly, they're still giving us some trade-in value on these. That won't last a whole lot longer, but even the model after the ones we currently have, that's now discontinued. They won't be selling those after January 1st.
Is there any,
Only no, definitely most popular, I'd say the most user-friendly and the most reliable.
I can't think of a police department that
They would
uses-
have some, yeah.
There's another brand, I can't remember what that brand is, but
There's a lot of civilian models, but, I mean, there are requirements of not, you know, the various spark tests and internal tests that you have to turn in on any arrest, you know, just to have proof that the device was working properly, that kind of thing that you're not gonna find with the $100 civilian models.
is there any data on how frequently the force has had to use tasers in the past?
I could get some. We do keep track of each time that it's deployed on an arrest. I don't have them over the past few years, but I could definitely get them. I mean, it's hard to say it saved X amount of dollars in, you know, injuries or work comp claims or lawsuits, that kind of thing. But I could definitely tell you how many times they've been used, at least since 2016.
And with 20 of these, that's enough to cover everybody on the force, have some extras?
I have one extra and cover everybody else, yes.
I think too, by having it, goal is to not use them.
Right, I mean, it's definitely a visible deterrent. That's part of the annual training, that people know what tasers are, and regardless of how wound up or agitated or not thinking clearly, usually the sight sometimes is enough for them to,
The savings in
Make
life should
smarter
be the
decisions.
measure, I think, so.
sorry,
I think the savings in lives should be the measure, so I think,
that as well.
Does anyone want to make a motion?
I'd make the motion.
Okay, motion by Jerry, second by Barb. Roll call, please.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Jovanini,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Gill,
Yes.
S. Horner. Yes. Causer,
Yes.
A. Horner,
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Item H, the appointment of Police Chief Davis to the VCOM Joint Authority Board.
yes, and because of his spending of money. Chief is currently one of our two representatives, primary representatives on the board. His term is expiring. And I would just ask the mayor appoint Chief Davis back to the board, and the council approve that.
Do we have any better options?
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah,
council can be,
yeah, he's appointing you.
Uh-oh.
Looking in your mirror now.
I would entertain a motion. Motion by Chan, second by John Willie. Roll call, please.
Willie,
Yes.
Jovanini,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Gill,
Yes.
S. Horner. Yes. Causer,
Yes.
A. Horner,
Yes.
Bradshaw. Yes. Howard.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Item I is the 2025 Pontiac Parks Survey, and it looks like Gary's getting up to talk about this, so.
Good evening, council. First of all, thank you very much for taking the time out of your family time, et cetera, to go to our parks and do this assessment, to kind of put your eyes on it. It is always beneficial to have another set of eyes go through our parks and find out what things need attention, what things are really great, and what we need to utilize more and promote more, as well as what we need to look at replacing or repairing down the road. So thank you very much for taking time out to do that. I will admit that I have put my eyes on it just recently, so I'm still reviewing it. But the plan is to review it, prioritize it, and go through a system and have an action plan developed that we can get the ground running this spring and start working on our parks and make them even better than what they are currently. So,
Great. Thanks, Barb, and everybody for getting out there and getting that done.
thank you very much.
Item J, approval of conveyance of property to Silva, which is the Central Illinois Land Bank Authority at 403 West Clary Street and 821 North Oak Street.
So since we joined Central Illinois Land Bank, I've been to, the first meeting I went to was, I think it was last week. And one of their initiatives is the vacant lots lots to new homes initiative. And this initiative, it would be for member communities to donate 2 lots, some of the bigger ones, maybe a few more than that, to this program, where then Central Illinois Land Bank will then seek developers with a number of properties saying, hey, you'll get these properties if you develop single-family homes on all these lots. And so they were hoping to have at least some commitments before the end of the year, and then that way Mike could put together an RFP to get out to the developers so he could have a spring program ready. So I started looking through our property lots, and the 2 that just struck me quickly were the 2 lots at 403 West Cleary and 821 North Oak. You should have a page in your packets of them. They're back-to-back lots. Those 2 lots are, if you're looking at that photo, one's in the front and one's right behind it. They're both 120 by 60 foot lots. 403 we acquired in 2013, so we haven't collected any property tax off of that since then. And 821 North Oak we acquired in 2020. So neither one of those are in the TIF, and so they're not eligible for TIF redevelopment. They're regular sized lots, and I think they're a good fit for our initial step into this program.
Single-family homes.
Single-family homes, yes. And we would, so I would be asking the council to authorize staff and the city attorney to draw up a conveyance, and it would be contingent upon it being in this program, and if it didn't, if nothing happened, it would come back to us.
Motion?
I'd make a motion. please.
Motion by Mike Barr, second by Frank Giovanini. Roll call, please.
Willie,
Yes.
Giovanini,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Gill,
Yes.
S. Horner,
Yes.
Causer,
Yes.
A. Horner,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Howard.
Yes.
I didn't want to mention one, just a legal point on this, because the land bank is another government agency. We're able to do this rather than putting it out for bids or auction or that type. We can convey through an intergovernmental agreement.
So I wanted to ask a question. The land bank property and developers, do they have guidelines they have to go by as to the resale value of the property once it's been developed, or?
So what he would be doing is he's going to just be seeking a developer, like he's going to be looking for developers who will come in and, because it's hard to get somebody to come build one single-family home, if they get a big enough lot of things, then they can maybe buy in bulk and save money and use enterprise zones when available, and so
Yeah.
that's the goal. So the land bank can determine all of those terms and conditions, and since we sit on the board, we'll have a voice in what those terms and conditions.
I was kind of wondering about the affordability of it, and that surrounding neighborhood, if, you're not gonna get, you're better off.
Yeah, they
Sure,
need to
yeah.
fit
And
into the
I think
neighborhood.
they would understand that as well, that you're not gonna be able to put up a
Right.
home to sell for $800,000.
Unless you bought the property next to it.
It probably wouldn't sell.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I mean, so.
Yeah. I'm excited that we've already got action going on this process, so that's awesome.
Definitely.
Item K, approval of incentive letter for Crescent Cinema.
Yes, so I've been talking with Terry Sullivan and Bob, and I can't remember the guy's last name, but he's the relative of the owner of the Crescent Cinema, and he's the one now that's kind of, the family has put in charge of selling that property. He asked if the city would be willing to give a letter so when they advertise for sale, they can say, hey, this property is for sale and the city of Pontiac is willing to do X. And what I thought right now we should be willing to do, if the goal is to keep that as a theater, would be to offer, guarantee a rehabilitation grant of $50,000, all contingent upon them showing to us that they have the finances to do the project and the operational plan to run a theater. But that $50,000, kind of like a facade grant, but it would cover roof, TIF-eligible projects, roof, HVAC, interior rehab, not just facade work. And then if we have if it works and we get a good enough developer, maybe we enter into a redevelopment agreement with other incentives as well. So it's at least a shot to try and keep a theater downtown.
Is the price for sale public knowledge or not?
He's been talking with Terry about selling it, and I haven't seen it show up yet, as I think he's waiting for this to actually put together a selling plan.
And where would the grant money,
The grant money would come from TIF, one.
okay, would come from? Okay.
Any
That's why
questions?
it'd be contingent upon a agreement.
Any questions? We're just
Yeah, we
offering
got-
them
Yeah.
a path to
Kinda
move forward
spitballing
with.
Something, yeah.
Yeah,
We would have to approve the final agreement.
correct.
The theater is the only thing we're looking for there. I mean,
Yes, that, he wants to sell it as a theater. That's their plan. And Sharon, I mean, she still would love for her son's legacy to live on there. So they do want it to remain a theater. So that was their hope, is that they'd find someone interested in making it a theater, and the city could help push that along to put that up front.
is there anything owed back to the city now? from-
No,
they
they only
made it
took
all
advantage, they only took advantage of the grant portion and never did come to us for the reimbursement portion.
I'll make a motion for that one to approve it.
Motion by Jamie, second by Jerry. Roll call, please.
Giovanini,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Gill,
Yes.
S.
Yes.
Causer,
Yes.
Ahorner,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie.
Yes.
Thank you. Item L, authorize staff to draft ordinance for reimbursement for hazardous material spills. Chief Campbell, are you taking this?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so over the course of this past year, the Pontiac Fire Department has been able to implement a hazardous material technician level team, which is the highest level of hazmat response you can have in the state of Illinois. We were able to do that in large part with our contractual agreement that we have with Caterpillar, where they funded our training for our personnel. And then through various community grants like Walmart and Enbridge, we've been able to acquire the equipment, which is very specialized, to be able to provide this team to our area. As a result, the next step in the process to ensure that we are able to be reimbursed for any costs that we have when we go to a hazardous material incident is to try to get the council to adopt a Illinois Spill Pay Act, which authorizes municipalities to recover costs incurred when responding to hazardous material spills releases, or discharges. Eligible costs include personnel time, equipment use, cleanup materials, and other reasonable expenses. Adoption of a local ordinance is required to implement this authority, providing clear legal procedures for billing and enforcement. In order to enact this, the Pontiac Fire Department respectfully requests that the City Council directs our city attorney to draft a municipal ordinance under the Spill Act to be added to the Municipal Code, Section 14-2, following the current recovery of costs for emergency services. Once the ordinance is drafted, we will return to council for review and consideration of adoption. So long story short, this is the funding mechanism that hazmat teams use across the state of Illinois. This statute or law is already in place, but to back it up and make the process cleaner, when we would bill somebody for spill or pay for hazardous materials, the city needs to adopt an ordinance. So like I said, so if a company comes in town, they have a rollover semi-truck on I-55, we have to get in what we call our astronaut suits, which are level A suits, which are very expensive, and we get the product on us. We would ask for reimbursement to replace the proper personal protective equipment for us. So like I said, the teams throughout the state of Illinois utilizes this on a regular basis. With all the means of chemicals and products that go through our area, through transportation as well as fixed facility storage units. I think it would be proper of us to exercise this and get an ordinance drafted so that way we can recoup our costs and be financially responsible. So,
Chief, have you looked, are there any model ordinances? I mean, not model necessarily, but other ordinance other communities adopt I might be able to follow?
yes, sir. Yeah, Jim and I have a few examples we can pass on. Yeah. So any questions about the Spillers Act at all or anything about our hazmat team?
How many people are on the team? How many are trained?
So every member of the organization, which is 41, are trained to some level. I believe I have, don't quote me on this, but I think at least 15 of our personnel are to the technician level, with the remaining at the operations level. So we are in the process where once we get to a certain point with our new hires, which are several of them, we'll move them along to become the technician level as well. So for an organization our size, having that many technicians is pretty impressive. So we're pretty capable. We would call upon Division 41, which is McLean County Bloomington Fire Department, and as well as Division 15, which is like your Joliet Fire Department in Plainfield, if it was something we couldn't handle. But we should be able to handle an incident for at least the first hour or two. And if it's going to exceed that, we would be calling for mutual aid help as any other organization would to that magnitude. But we've come a long way in that area, especially in our special operations, including technical rescue, which is like confined space rescue and things like that. We have a very aggressive organization, and because of partnerships like with Caterpillar and our grants, we're able to take that next step in our emergency services and expand our scope of practice. So we're very excited to take this step. So.
Motion? Motion by John Willie, second by Van Gill. Roll call, please.
Barr,
Yes.
Gill,
Yes.
S. Horner,
Yes.
Causer,
Yes.
A. Horner,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Whaley,
Yes.
Joe Vanini.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so this is out of order. Okay, okay. Mayor's comments, executive session's gonna go to the end, as usual. I have quite a few notes here. Reminder to everybody that the Jingle Jog is on Saturday as a fundraiser for last night. The weather sounds like it might be kind of warmer.
I think it'll be good.
10 a.m. You can sign up online or maybe just show, I don't know. Anna can give those particulars. Few things I just want a quick recap of the Opening Doors seminar that we had now almost 2 weeks ago with the building owners downtown. It was really well attended. I think we probably had about 40 people there, and Paul Charnett, the architect, did a great job. Hopefully we get something to come to fruition out of that, but thanks to all that worked on that, and I look forward to us getting some movement there on upstairs apartments. Got a note Thursday, a call from Vicki Fitzgerald at the Greater Livingston County Arts Center, that she had been contacted by the Illinois Arts Council. And subsequently, there's a meeting coming up Thursday between Liz and a representative from the Arts Council and Vicki. We have been selected as a community that the state may choose to award a arts grant for America's 250 celebration, and they're coming in to talk to us about submitting for that. They're going to choose 20 communities, and it's by invitation only. And so and something that we would do this summer in conjunction with the 250 celebration of the country's establishment. So it's going to move fast because, of course, they want things determined by like January 15th, and we'd have to have it in place by August something. I attended a meeting at OSF last Friday. They invited myself and representatives from our two state legislatures to attend. I met with Derek Frazier, the hospital president here, and their government relations individual and public relations, and then Chris Balcom, his office. We got a tour of the facility and then just talked about concerns in the community that we might have. I think what I came out of it is OSF is they're committed to Pontiac. They really don't have any intention of, they said, yep, there's always rumors out that the hospital's going to close. That's not in their master plan right now. We would be a network, an area hospital. Yes, a lot of individuals are being moved off to St. Joe's, which is considered our regional thing where they can't be handled, but they're still working hard to try to get an orthopedic surgeon here to do more. They've scored really well in the scorings, and she sent me links to look at all the scores that they have, but they really are dedicated to doing everything they can for the residents of Pontiac. So let's hope we have a continued partnership and them be a viable, they're one of our largest employers, and they want to be here. And they're thinking outside the box and things, healthcare has changed a lot. So I think we all should be reassured that they don't really want to go anywhere. It just might be different because of the way things have evolved. So also had an opportunity yesterday to attend breakfast with the group that was in town to do the Brothers After War seminar. And then I went to the movie. Couldn't stay for the after part, but kudos to the War Museum individuals for bringing that to town. I learned a lot about what they were doing. It's kind of unfortunate that there weren't more community veterans. They had a decent crowd, don't get me wrong, but they were really trying to shoot for Afghanistan and Iraqi veterans, and the bulk of the individuals that were there were Vietnam and beyond. And what they're doing is so beneficial for these veterans. The work that this group is doing to try to counsel them and how to really integrate back and not let go of problems that happened to them when they were in. And the movie is awesome. You can catch it on Amazon Prime. I couldn't see the last 20 minutes because I had somewhere to go, but I watched it this afternoon to finish it up. It's really a great, that Jake Rademacher, who put it together, he went into war with his two brothers. He was not a soldier. He managed to talk the government into letting him come in as a civilian and be alongside of them with a camera. And it was pretty impressive what they're doing. So anyway, then the other thing is just that Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. We won't be meeting again in official forum until after the New Year. Wow, where did that year go? So moving on to city council comments.
I think we should. I'm sorry, go ahead. Ladies first.
Sure. Okay. I just wanted to reiterate kind of what Kelly said. The Jingle Jog is this weekend. We are looking for runners, walkers, whatever. And then there's also the brunch afterwards that is included with your sign up. So it is supposed to be really nice on Saturday. So yeah, we're really excited about that. And we're still accepting volunteers for last night. We had a great meeting at the Eagle last night, giving out information and everything to the folks that showed up that are signed up to volunteer right now. but we can always use more, so please sign up to volunteer. And I just wanted to give Liz and Cheyenne a big kudos for the Christmas market on Saturday. It was really well attended considering it was a blizzard outside. And Nathan's caroling also went really well. He had a lot of folks that came with him to sing downtown. So it was a fun Christmassy weekend this weekend. So yeah, sign up for the Jingle Jog.
Great.
Anna, where can they sign up?
There's a link on the Last Night Facebook page that will take you to the run sign up where you can sign up there, or you can sign up day of at the registration table at the Eagle.
John?
Are there any updates on any action being taken to deal with the vandalism in the park, especially Hummiston Riverside?
Well, we did go through, Andrew and I, been meeting with Motorola on a camera system there, and they came back with a over $200,000 proposal, and just not feasible. And so Andrew has some ideas on getting a different infrastructure in there he's working on now. We talked last week, and he's going to put together the package and bring it to committee.
Jerry?
I just want to send prayers out to the Edinger family. The loss.
One of our former police members passed away this afternoon.
Fire, police, all around guy.
Barb?
I'd like to publicly thank my fellow city council members for the excellent job they spent away from their families on nights and weekends to help get this park survey done this fall. It's greatly appreciated. Some of you caught things that I never even thought, and I'm gonna single out Chan on this one because he caught things that I never caught, and I spent a lot of time down there. And I know several of you did, but the electrical systems that he noticed that I didn't notice in all the parks need some attention. But again, I just wanted to publicly thank you all for all your time away from your families.
Some of that
So,
electrical, I'm sorry.
Mike?
One question. Are we finished with the facade on the outside of City Hall?
Nope.
No. We still have some overhangs for the doors, some lighting out there, and then signage for City Hall.
So we do have signage?
Yep, it's been ordered. Do we
Okay.
have any word on that? Oh,
Because I was going to suggest a mural.
I'll show you a picture of it.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't wait for it to get up. That's what I can say. So,
Something
it's impressive.
66-ish?
Well,
No?
it's a good sign. So people will know where we are or what we are.
Nice.
Okay, city administrator.
Yeah, I have a few things, and I would echo, I know all of our staff, and I'm sure all of you, especially myself and the police chief, are saddened by the loss of Jim Edinger, former assistant police chief here for a long time. And just a great community member. I mean, he was nonstop doing things for the police department. He was making signs and awards and up until the end. So we're definitely going to miss him. Couple things. The kiosk across the street, I know I mentioned it one time before, and a lot of you said you tried to use it and it didn't work. That should all be resolved. We were out there, and they had to do some calibrating, and they had a gentleman that they had subcontracted from, and he was logged in from Germany and putting the code in, and I've been checking it every day, and it's been working. So now I would ask you to go play with it and
We don't gotta speak German then?
make sure it still works. And thanks to Gary, his idea of these elves in the park has been a fantastic hit. The kids and families have loved doing that. Great work by the street department for our couple snow events. Our roads are up and going quickly, so we have great employees here in the city. Sewer department's been busy, still doing all of their underground line maintenance and televising. The other big news is Greg offered and Tyler Carley accepted the position of Assistant Director for Building and Zoning. So he'll be starting, he is in, I think, Mexico.
Yeah, he's in Mexico.
So he won't be starting tomorrow or today, but when he gets back, he'll be starting. And the list is building for things for him to do. There's some training coming up as well that he'll be attending, so we also understand that that's going to put a little damper over what he was doing with Jim. However, we've worked internally on how we can minimize that, and we'll be able to handle it. And then lastly, from the administration, the fleet, enterprise fleet program, we've made orders. Those have been placed, not all of them yet, but the majority of them. They're still working on some police vehicles and I think maybe a parks vehicle or something. There's a couple more that still need to be ordered, and then, again, the lead times were like 14 to 18 weeks on some of those.
I want to back up with a question about snow routes. So if we do, when the snow route goes into effect, cars that are on those streets, do we ticket them? Do we tow them? Do we do anything with them?
Typically, the police department will go, if it's in the middle of the night, we'll knock on the doors and try and get them to move them. If they're unable to move them, we've never towed them. They've just been plowed around.
Because there's two cars right here up the street that have been, they're still snow covered from the November 30th. They haven't moved, and they're right here in a high network, and we have that ordinance, I guess. I just question why we don't do something with it, but.
And those are just streets marked for snow routes. We don't have a citywide, or we're considering.
Just the snow route. So we don't really use the snow route.
No, I mean, we do, but we don't, yes, right.
How has the ordinance been received downtown? With
You drive through downtown?
Shoveling.
No.
Yeah.
A work in progress.
Yeah. I'm going to the downtown huddle tomorrow to talk to those who are there, just to let them know. But we really need to get a letter out to all the building owners to let them know that it's even in effect.
Kind of expected that was going to be initially, this first year was going to be a lot of communication.
Do we have any further communication on the house that was burned last November on Main Street? Anything on that yet?
He's talking about Boger.
Yeah.
We've been in communication with him. I was ready to sue him. I had the complaint ready to file middle of November. He became communicative, and he has obtained a bid to demolish it. I emailed him over the weekend, though, to give me an update, and I haven't heard from him. He wasn't communicative. So we may end up in that mode. The demolition bid was quite substantial. He had held out some hope for selling the property to an adjoining property owner, and apparently that property owner lost interest. So that's not on the table anymore. That's why it's and we pursue it through the courts. We'll be doing the demolition, getting a lien for that property that's not worth it. It's not 50,000, but it's close.
Okay, thank you.
So anyway, we've been working on it, and again, he started serving him seriously, well, after he brought up in the council meeting in the middle of summer, we served him with the official violation notices, which had not happened. And had him served by the police, so they're handed to him. And he did not respond to any of those, which led to me preparing a complaint. And that complaint literally was just a matter of hitting the button to. And I talked to Administrator Wolford, and he said, well, let me try him one more time. Got on the phone and called him, he answered the phone. Administrator Wolford gave me the facts of life, and he gave us his cell phone number, email address, and up until response yesterday, I think I emailed him Saturday. He's answered all my emails. I have not tried to call. Bad situation. It's a hard litigation situation a little bit because one of the mortgage holders is HUD, which is not convenient. When this started, the government was shut down, and nobody at HUD would answer about how we served them. So we'll just do that. And there was even discussion of not joining them, and then their lead would be ahead of ours. Need a lot easier. Doesn't appear theirs is really. So we've got a little strategy. Hopefully, Mr. Boger will be fit to demolish it, have a vacant lot that he can maintain better than he maintained. My understanding is. Anyway, that's a work in progress too, but we've got him under our thumb a little bit. Fairly easy to start the processing quarter. Even signed. That far along with it. Anyway, it should have gotten there at this point quicker. I wasn't aware of it, but we've got the thing moving, and there's a procedure we got to go through with notices and that. And hopefully, when we get new, Tyler will have involved, we can get more formal notices earlier in the process to start the ball rolling. Manpower issue.
Public comment.
I have two questions and one statement.
Okay.
One of the questions is the city responsible for cleaning the sidewalk around the city parking lot?
Around the city parking lots?
Uh-huh,
I mean, like Dargan Lot, for example?
city parking lot,
Yes,
any of them, yeah. The ones that the city owns,
yes.
okay, because they're not doing it. They're doing it partially.
Okay.
Okay? The second one is, we went to the housing meeting.
Right.
Is the council considering looking into the historic downtown district?
Yes, we do need to move on that.
Okay. And my statement is, I hope you all have good holidays.
Thank you. You as well, Joni and Ed. Okay, we have need for executive session, so I would entertain a motion to go into executive
No
session.
formal action after.
Motion by Jamie, second by John. Do we need a vote on that? Show hand. Okay, roll call,
Do a roll
please.
call vote.
I got that. Now we got a roll call.
Giovanini.
Yes.
Barr.
Yes.
Gill. S. Horner.
Yes.
Causer.
Yes.
A. Horner.
Yes?
Bradshaw.
Yes.
Howard.
Yes.
Whaley.
Yes.
Okay.